Talking about people outside our community. Of course, I know you guys are watching live. I know you guys care about the Bigfoot, the UFOs. I know you guys care about the paranormal and ghost. But do we think that the outside people of our community, not that they don't believe, that they even care about it? You know what I mean? Like, do they look into it like we do? So put in your vote. What do you think people outside the community think about? You think they think about Bigfoot the most, UFO the most, paranormal the most, or you think that they don't think about all three at all? Now, I know it's hard for me trying to explain that question here because you're only allowed a certain amount of words, but there's no right or wrong answer because the truth of the matter is we don't know because we we can only do surveys, really, right? I mean, you can only do surveys. I mean, and you would have to survey almost every single body in the world to get the most correct answer. But we're going to talk about it. I got a couple videos that I put out during the week that we'll dissect, like like I've been doing lately. So, guys, kick back and relax. Go get some popcorn. Go outside, do a smoke break real quick. Go to the bathroom, say Blood and Mary 3 times, because we're about to take a ride on the paranormal highway.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Did you see it?
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's so great to see everybody, and I hope every single one of you are doing fantastic. And I hope you guys are able to see me. Let me make sure. Okay, let me see. Let me go back to the chat. All right. Um, you guys can't see me, right? I don't know why I'm looking at my other screen and I don't even see myself on the screen. Am I just a little bit too ugly for the screen now? I don't know. Let me just check this other tab to make sure that I'm not talking to myself. Okay, I'm not talking to myself. That's very good. I don't know why this one over here. I kind of have this on so I know if I'm on or not, or if I'm fuzzy. So looks like I am on. I don't know why this ain't working, but guys, the outside world, do we think they care about the stuff that we care about? That's always been the question, right? It's always been the question. What do we think they care about? Well, I put a poll up, and so far, looking at the poll, there's been 15 votes, 16 votes as we speak. And let me see here. Out of the 16 votes, it looks like 40% says Bigfoot cryptids, 27% says UFO aliens, 13% says paranormal spirits, and 20% for none of the above, basically. And again, like I said, it's very hard to determine what do we think people on the outside world are thinking. I mean, it really is hard. If myself taking a guess, if I had to if I had to pick like all three, out of the three, I would think that people probably would have picked UFO and aliens just because that's what's in the news. That's what the news show about. The news don't really do too much of Bigfoot. Sometimes the paranormal, most of the time is because if it's around Halloween, they'll do stories on the paranormal, or maybe like ghost adventures or ghost hunters are coming to your town, maybe the local town. But more or less, the media covers UFO and aliens versus any other category. So you can say I'm a little shocked that right now that most people are picking the Bigfoot one. But hey, what do I know? You guys are a fantastic community. Now, before we get into sorry about that. Hold on a second. I got a little background here. I'm trying to okay. So let me do this. Now, before we get into what do we think of people, I put out 2 videos this week. I put out a UFO video about the Lonnie Zamora story on his UFO sighting. So I'll put on that video, and then I'll put on the video that I made about what the news articles were saying about the people outside of the community. Since that's the longer video, I'll play the shorter one first. We'll check out the Lonnie Zamora story, and then I'm very curious to see what you, the great people, what you guys think of the story. Do you believe the story? Do you believe it's true or not? And then I'll give you guys my personal opinion. And again, personal opinion. First of all, this story, this UFO incident, I wasn't even born yet. So to tell you exactly facts, real or not, can't really tell you that because I wasn't even born. But we'll look at the video and we'll go from there. So let me find the video. Let me get it up real quick. And one of the things I learned is not to have the video ready because that's what's caused the blurriness when you have too many tabs up. So it takes me a little bit, but I got it here. Let me get it. Okay, let me.
City of Socorro.
All right, let me get it a little bigger. No. Oh, reverse. Okay, there we go. All right, again, this is the Lonnie Zamora UFO story of a man, a police officer who's spotted what he thinks is a UFO on the side. So you guys take a look. Let's listen to the story, and we'll go from there. Again, I can't tell you the story is true or not because I wasn't there. But let's just listen to the story, and then we'll go from there. Hold on a second. I'm confused. I was on the live stream with Danny and Jojo waiting for you for chatting and everything, but not there. Oh God, I love Mind Fork. I love Akasha Chris. She's a special person. She really is. I love her. I love how free she is, and I love how she has her own opinion, and we agree some things, we don't probably agree on some things, like any one of you guys. The best thing I love about people, especially in our community, is everybody has their own mind, has their own reasons why they choose something to be real or not, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just the story. So let's listen, let's watch this video I put out Saturday or Sunday. I can't even remember, the Lonnie Zamora story, and I'll see what you guys think of the story. So all right. So let me get it ready. Here we go.
Police officer Lonnie Zamora witnessed one of the most extensively documented UFO sightings in US history, which attracted the attention of numerous esteemed scientists. Here is a brief overview of the events that transpired on that day. On the late afternoon of Friday, April 24th, 1964.
Now, were any of you born in 1964? I know I wasn't. I wasn't born. So again, I can't, that's why it's one of the reasons why I can't really tell you on what's actual technically factual because we weren't there. You know what I mean? And by now, everything is covered up or evidence is watered down. The story gets stretched. You know what I mean? So again, can't tell you if this is real or not, but this happened on Friday, the 24th, April 24th, 1964 in New Mexico. So I guess you could say it has kind of a Roswell feeling, right? Because the Roswell incident near that area, so is that where a story could come from? I don't know, but let's check it out some more.
Socorro Police Sergeant Lonnie Zamora left his patrol car on a rugged and uneven dirt road to investigate an unidentified flying object that had landed in an arroyo to the south of Socorro. The desolate and undeveloped area consisted mainly of mesquite and creosote bushes. At around 5:45 p.m, Sergeant Zamora observed an egg-shaped craft approaching Socorro from the south. This sighting was later confirmed by 5 tourists who were passing through Socorro at the time. In an interview after the incident, Zamora described seeing a bluish flame and hearing a loud roar emanating from the arroyo. Zamora proceeded towards the vicinity where he presumed the spacecraft had touched down.
So basically, he was driving around the desert, his area that he patrolled, and then he sees this egg-shaped thing. Now, that egg shape right there, now, part of the video you saw in the beginning where he gets in the cop car, where he's driving with another cop, that desert part, that's real footage from the area. This is basically a reenactment kind of right here of the shape of the egg that he saw. Now, there are stories out there of people seeing like egg shapes, so the shape of it is not out of the ordinary. So there has been plenty of claims of egg-shaped UFOs. Now, of course, we know the saucer shapes and all that. So is that BS? Now, not BS, but could that be any kind of a test kind of a plane in a way from like being created by Boeing and not? And almost absolutely not. It's one thing to figure out how to planes fly and even maybe a flying saucer, but an egg shape. I don't think humans would have any kind of technology to create an egg shape for it to be able to fly. So saying that maybe this is a test plane by the government, I don't know about that. Not an egg shape. Not in 1964. Maybe now they can, but not in 1964. So that is one interesting part. If it's true, if this guy's not making it up, I would say it can't be an experimental plane, not shaped of an egg. That would be some kind of technology, right? To be able to create a plane as an egg shape, to be able to get off the ground and fly without the aerodynamics. You know what I mean? So that would be something to think about. So again, this could not be an experimental plane if the guy is telling the truth.
According to Zamora's later account, he initially spotted the entity from approximately 150 yards away and assumed it to be a car or some form of stranded vehicle. Subsequently, Zamora promptly notified the sheriff's office regarding a potential accident that he intended to investigate. In addition, Zamora reached out to New Mexico State Police Sergeant Samuel Chavez, a person he trusted, to aid in the inquiry. Following his request for assistance from Sergeant Chavez, Zamora resumed his approach towards the object. Zamora observed landing gear and a red insignia when he was approximately 50 feet away from the object. He later provided...
Now he got 50 feet, so that's pretty close. That's really close to really know if something's not like a vehicle or not. No, this person wasn't far away. So he got up close. That's interesting itself, super close. So there shouldn't be any confusion of a car, vehicle, an experimental plane. Well, I guess technically it could be an experimental plane, but not as an egg shape, not in 1964. So 50 feet's not that far away. So he's pretty close to recognize that this is unusual.
Did a drawing of the insignia to the authorities. Subsequently, Zamora witnessed bright blue flames and heard another loud roar before the object started to ascend from its position. After the event, numerous residents from the area visited the location and observed burnt bushes and depressions in the ground caused by the landing gear.
That's real footage of the place, people. Just letting you know, that's real footage of the area of where this ship was at. So that's not a reenactment right there. Just so you guys know, that's real footage.
This occurrence has been extensively documented in various newspapers, magazine articles and books. April 24th, 1964 stands as a highly documented day in the history of our city. Throughout the last 53 years, numerous speculations and notions have been put forth concerning what Officer Zamora might have observed.
Of course, you know, that's the real guy right there. Of course, he was a lot older there. He's explaining the story of, you know, what he's seen out there. So that's actually the real guy, just so you know. Remember, guys, I got this video on my channel on Saturday. So you want to watch this without me talking in it, go for it.
Observed on that particular day. However, amidst all the theories that may circulate, one undeniable fact remains. The object witnessed by Officer Zamora and others still remains unidentified.
Well, I mean, of course it's unidentified. I mean, if it was not unidentified, we wouldn't be talking about it today. So, all right. So now, guys, first of all, that's the story. Now, I'm curious. Before I'll tell you guys where I lean on this, you know, I want to know from you guys what you just heard there. I'll give you three options. I'll give you just three options. Option number one, you believe the story. You believe it. Number two, the story is fake. It's made up by the cop. Number three, there's just not enough information for you to make any kind of a decision. Now, I hope a lot of people don't pick number three. I really want to see people with the yes and no's, but I got to put that on there because some people might not heard of the story, and you might need to research it more, and that's fair. And that is completely 100% fair. So number one, is the story real? Two, is it fake? Three, you just don't know about the story and you need to do more information, more study on it. All right. I'm going to do the overlay. So your comments now will show up on screen. So let's see it. Well, let me see what some people already picked. Dina says, hello. Dina put, I'm sorry. Okay. The Avenger Dogman put 2. Okay. Okay. So let's get some more. Okay. Jojo put 1. So Jojo think it's real. Midwest think it's real. You guys can see it right there on the screen. I love Restream that you could do that. So you guys can actually see on the screen what people are putting. So BS put 1, a lot of ones. A lot of people believe the story. Okay. Okay. There we go. Dina P1, Midwest. All right. I mean, a lot of people are putting 1. Dogman's putting 2. So we got like one person putting in the number 2. Actually, hold on. BS put 22. Oh, is that a double 2? Okay, no, hold on. No, I'm sorry. Okay, Chi put in 1, and BS put in 1, and Castle put in 1. So that's awesome. Oh, guys, let me tell you real quick. Chi and Midwest Night Watchers. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This might shock you. No, it ain't gonna shock you. They are wonderful people. Midwest and Chi was wonderful. They're wonderful people. They invited myself and Dr. Wu to come on their show on Sunday. And I'm telling you guys the truth here. Most people, I would have said no because I love football. I don't hide that. I love football. It was championship Sunday. But for them, no problem. We were on their channel, and Midwest and Chi, they couldn't be any nicer. I mean, I know it's a lot to take in when you watch it, when you hear Dr. Wu talk. I know, because Dr. Wu shoots it out there. He shoots it out there, and it takes a lot to follow his theory. but Midwest and Chi allow him to give, and it was just a wonderful time. And truly want to appreciate, I truly appreciate them inviting us on. Had a great time. So if somebody in the chat, Danny Staten, if you could put in maybe the link of that show that we were on, I would truly appreciate it. All right, so a lot of people, a lot of you chose that the story's real. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I apologize. That was a rookie mistake. I should not have my phone ring. My apologies to you all. All right. So now now it's vibrating on my hand. Okay. So now with any story, any UFO story or not, I always go through my connections just to see if is there any, I'm not saying classified information, if there's any information about the story. So I go to my connection. I have a lot of connections in the military because myself is in the military, Dr. Wu's military, father, brother, uncle. Um, my so I talked to my UFO guy, David R. Rudema. David Rudema, who was a retired lieutenant colonel from the Army. I asked him about it. I go, oh, with all your research you've done in the military, is there anything on this story about this guy? Is there anything you could tell me to lead me one to the other? And what I was told was a little bit interesting. Not necessarily about the story itself, because not even them have a lot. There wasn't enough. There wasn't there wasn't enough information there for the military to go really truly research it. So there wasn't a whole lot like kept under classified like information. We the people, we kind of assumed that, right or wrong, if you agree with this or not, that's up to you. If you want to agree with this or not, that people, when they hear UFO stories or any kind of story, and when it comes from a police officer, a military, a pilot, most people would automatically think that's more real than a common person. They did this big time research. My friends telling me they did this huge research that majority of the people, because it's coming from somebody in uniform, we assume that they would not lie because their job is on the line. They don't want to risk everything. And finding out from him that percentage wise, people in uniform and out of uniform, believe it or not, more people out of uniform are more truthful to the stories than the people that are in uniform. Because police officers, pilots, and first of all, military is not giving out stuff. So it's not really military. Let's keep the military part out. So police officers and pilots, under the study that they did in the military, take it with a grain of salt, that people in uniform lie more than people outside of uniform. Because why? Because they know you will believe them. Take that with a grain of salt. And they say that out of all uniforms, police officers are the one group in uniform that will stretch out more lies on a story versus anybody else. It was a study that was done from the military side by My friend saw the study, and he said it was a real study. It wasn't. There weren't punching they because they want because when the military has to get involved in going to a crash site or not, they got to know who's telling the story, who's it coming from, is it worth their time? Because it costs a lot of money for governments and stuff to just go out to a place. It's got to be if the military comes out on something, that means there's something going on there because that's a lot of money to send groups there. A lot of money. So they do a lot of study on people, willing or not willing. People volunteer. I mean, I don't I can't tell you exactly. So now this story comes from a police officer, and they retire officers really have more. They found out that that retired officers will exaggerate stories even more because it's all about the money then. See, it makes sense, and it does make sense because when Jeremy Corbell comes out, right? When Jeremy Corbell comes out with this footage, you notice almost every single footage that it comes out, the ones that the news pick up, the news world, Fox News, CNN News, it's always when he says it was given to him by the military, people in uniform, because it creates the story to be better. It makes it where the common person thinks the story is real. So, so the moral to this story is do not always believe a story because it's coming from a person in uniform. People who don't wear uniforms, the study had done, are more likely telling the truth versus the people that are in uniform who we think that they're telling the truth more. That was when they told me that he told about the study and all that, that was like, wow, that's it is what it is. So I'm going to lead on that he saw a weird shaped thing out there. I don't know, somebody created something, but for this story, I'm going to go with my friend. I'm going to go with the study he's telling me. I think the guy made it up that he saw it flying away. Not that he saw something there. I think that something was built there. And I think the guy was exaggerating. That's my opinion, and that's only my opinion. All right. Now saying that, that's why I love talking to you guys because it's all about opinions. No person opinion is more important than the others. We all got our reasons. Now again, I lead one way. It doesn't mean somebody else could show me something that says, but Eric, did you know this? I'm always listening. I'm always hearing, and I'm just digging for the truth. Even though I'm thinking one way, trust me, I can swing back. You just got to show me something. But it's hard to show you things back from 1964, right? Because we weren't living there. So and all that. All right. There was an article. Now I rewrote the article for this video. This is not word for word from an article. I rewrote it because I take three articles, and then I combine the articles where the article is based on different stories, surveys. And then I just put it all together. So this ain't from this magazine, that magazine. They're from several magazines, and I put it together about people. Do they care? Do they even, not that they don't believe that Bigfoot's real, UFO real, or the paranormal is real. That's not the question. Do they even care? That's the question. Do they even care? So let me pull up the video. That's not it. Oh, here we go. Local video. Let me get it. Let me find it. All right. All right, people. And again, I'm going to pause it here and there so we can discuss parts of the video, and then we'll just go from there.
The revelation that the government might possess non-human biological matter and UFOs was met with unexpected indifference on the internet. On Wednesday, the House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security, the Border and Foreign Affairs conducted a hearing on UFOs, officially referred to as unidentified anomalous phenomena or UAPs. During the hearing, lawmakers emphasized the need for greater transparency regarding UAPs and expressed concerns about national defense.
Okay, so we all know there's been a bunch of hearings. There's actually been more hearings than we probably ever saw, since I was born. So there's been a lot of hearings. Again, with all those hearings, does it automatically mean that more people are looking at it? Are they studying it? Now, don't get me wrong. The news channels are any kind of a hearing. News channels are going to jump on it because it's some kind of a news that they can show. But when people even watch these conferences, do they care? Do they still care? Or do they think it's a waste of time? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand what Tim's trying to say is that it's not necessarily about green little aliens or gray aliens from another planet, which we all know that's what he's really looking for. It's the security of our country. He's like, we got to recognize these things because it's more for the security for the United States of America. But we all know that's kind of a bullshit lie. Tim wants to know if they're from another planet. He just doesn't want to look like cuckoo. So let's hear more.
Although the Defense Department has stated that there is currently no evidence linking UAPs to extraterrestrial beings.
Again, they always say there's no evidence linking. Now, are they lying? They never say names, right? So if somebody who works in the government, not everybody gets a clearance to look at classified information. So the majority of the people in the government don't have clearance to all the classified information. So technically, the majority of the people in the government, they're making a true statement that there is no connection with aliens, UFOs for Earth, right? That's because 80% of them don't have clearance. They wouldn't know. And they're not going to give clearance to anybody who just joins the military. All because you become a senator or a representative doesn't automatically mean you get a piece of file to say, this is what the truth is. Only a selected few people get to know who actually killed JFK. Only the selected few. So they're not lying. But we're just not really asking the right question to the right person. And that's the question, right? Who is the right person? And unfortunately, the right person don't talk to the public. So, don't talk to the public. And if we don't know who he is, we can't ask him. And even if we do know who he is, probably ain't gonna talk to the public. Just saying.
Numerous social media users interpreted the hearing as confirmation of the existence of aliens.
And that is true. That is true, guys. I cannot sit here and tell you enough after every single hearing how many UFO channels I said, look, there it is. They just told the truth. Aliens exist. I can't tell you how many. When that like the alien walking around Miami, I mean, I saw it across the board on social media. People believing there was a real alien that decide that I'm going to take a little walk in Miami's mall. Listen, you can believe whatever you want, and you got every right to believe whatever you want. Every single right. But a high intelligent alien who comes in the most advanced spacecraft that we can ever imagine is not going to land and walk around Miami's mall. These things are more intelligent than we can ever imagine because the technology for them to get here is way above what we can ever even closely imagine. But you get it on social media and everybody bites on it. Except for the good people like yourselves, who, I truly believe that we have a lot of common sense. Let's hear more.
Despite generating a plethora of memes, the hearing failed to capture the interest of users, as evidenced by their lack of enthusiasm towards the findings. UFOs, once a captivating subject for conspiracy theorists, have now become so commonplace that they struggle to make an impact in the news cycle, according to some users. It's amusing. They discussed UFOs and non-human biologics in a hearing yesterday, and yet nobody seems to be paying any attention. With the abundance of conspiracy theories circulating at present...
You guys hear that? It's kind of a cool take. Hold on a second. Let me put it right here for a second. And I'll put it back so you see me. It's kind of a cool take that now they're doing these conferences, right? And all these news channels. It becomes so regular now. It's not eye-catching for the common people are not, outside the community. Because when you're in a community, you're going to dive into every single information that comes out. All of us. But the outside world, like, oh, they're talking about UFOs again. Oh yeah, Mexico, those real aliens that look like little mummies. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Now it's so much out there. I mean, I'm seeing it. Not inside the community, outside the community. Like it's nothing to them no more. Oh, another meeting. Oh, another conference. I mean, in so many ways, the government's winning. And the funny thing is, a lot of people in the UFO community think we're winning because they're finally getting it out there. But it's doing like the opposite. So much out there that the people you're trying to make the impact to get more believers in it, because if you get more believers in it, then you can vote in the people who would actually try to really release it. But it's never going to happen because most people now don't really give a shit even more than ever. So it's like the opposite has happened. I know how strange that sounds. And let me go back to this part. Let me rewind it because it's kind of interesting about, like, a lot of people has even lost interest in Area 51 now. Here we go.
Discussed UFOs and non-human biologics in a hearing yesterday, and yet nobody seems to be paying any attention. With the abundance of conspiracy theories circulating at present, we have even lost our fascination with Area 51, remarked one individual. Another user tweeted that despite the announcement about the existence of aliens, not a single person showed any reaction. One individual expressed their skepticism towards the idea of caring about life on other planets, stating that the chaotic and stressful nature of life on Earth makes it difficult to prioritize such matters.
Isn't that true, guys? And that's the point that I have always tried to make. Because a lot of people will say there's a lot of non-believers out there. And yes, there are a lot of non-believers. But there's also a lot of believers that just don't have time to research this stuff. that they do kind of care, but life itself is so freaking hard. They just they they really truly don't have a chance or don't have the time to study it further, right? I mean, if you look at everyday life, this is gonna sound so freaking boring. I know. I'm sorry, guys. Think about everyday life for most people on this planet. You wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you shower, put clothes on. If you got kids, put clothes on them, make a fast breakfast or even no breakfast. You know, you get in your car, you pay $5 a gallon, whatever price it is. So you're already spending money out of your wallet. You get to work. You know, even if you work at a good place or not, at the end of the day, your bosses, they don't, it's them or you, so they don't care. Or even if you think you feel that you care, management, people above, you're just a number to them. They'll, you're worried about not having a job next day, getting laid off. I've been laid off every single job I've had. I've been laid off. Because at the end of the day, even when I was voted as the best technical operations manager for the cable company they ever had, all the workers love working for me because I listened to them. But at the end of the day, when they got new investors, I was just a number. I still get laid off. That's life. And then what? Then you drive home. You go home. If you got to go stop by the store to pick up something or not, or a lot of times you pick up fast food because when you get home, it can take you anywhere from 1 minute to an hour to cook food, whatever it is. You're tired, you're exhausted. You watch maybe 1 hour TV. Then you go to bed. Right? There comes the weekend. Oh, God, Saturday, you got to pay all your bills. You're going through all your bills. Oh, guys, and guess what? It's tax season now. Now it's tax season. Now you're worried about paying your taxes. I mean, I'm not trying to be a bore here. I'm not trying to sound sad, but that's almost everyday life for people. Even if you work nights, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. You're so busy with life. If you got kids, taking care of everybody, your dog got to take a shit outside at 3 o'clock in the morning. So you got to get up, take your dog outside, and then try to go back to sleep. I mean, it's almost like so somebody comes up to you like you have that bad week. We all know that bad day, that bad week. Someone comes up to you about, hey, you hear about this exciting UFO sighting? Oh, dude, I don't give a shit right now. I'll look at it over the next weekend or so. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know it sounds sad, but it's so true. There are a lot of believers out there, but life itself is hard, especially when you live in a freaking United States of a freaking America that most people only get 2 weeks of vacation a year. If you get lucky, you work your ass off, you might get a month. Even that's not enough time to research everything. I mean, it's hard. It's hard, right? And people like yourselves and myself, you work your ass off, you're getting close to retirement, and you want to do all these things you wanted to do when you're younger. By the time my father retired, his knees were messed up from working on concrete every single day. And he was a true believer in the Bigfoot. And he would have loved to be older in life to go back in the mountains and research the Bigfoot, but his legs were tear apart. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. Life is hard. It's just, oh, I know I sound like a downer. I know that, but this is real facts. Not people don't believe. They don't have time to care. Is that by design? By the government? That's a whole nother subject. It might come up in this one. Let's hear more.
Matters. They questioned whether aliens would be able to address pressing issues such as inflation, student debt, worker exploitation, and other financial burdens that contribute to the unhappiness experienced by themselves and their acquaintances. In light of this perspective, they concluded that the notion of extraterrestrial life bringing any significant positive change seemed unlikely.
See what I mean? Seem unlikely. Like I know people even say, okay, Eric, say they identify a flying object that is from another planet. Even though that's the coolest thing in the world, is that going to change anything in my life? Do I not have to pay taxes anymore? Unfortunately not. I mean, you know what I mean? I have another person says, listen, I love Bigfoot. Even if I see a Bigfoot, I want to go out there more. I just don't have time. I can't do it, or I can't afford it. I mean, it's life, man. Life is hard. It's hard. I don't know what to say. It's truly freaking hard. So I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's just sometimes in life, it's just sometimes in life, like now, like the last, like when I went to the trail with my brother for the Devil's Hand, I had to use a cane because my legs messed up. It's just hard. So, does it is that one of the reasons why I'm always so pissed off at people like Jeremy Corbell? It just what I think what pisses me off, not that Jeremy Corbell exaggerates and lies about his stories, is when you got rich kids, little rich kids, they could do, they could do whatever they want. When you got trust funds that they could do whatever they want, right? They got trust funds and they want to go out, and then everybody just follows them because they got all the cool toys. They got all the cool, and they come up with lies and they got connections. You guys know what I freaking mean. It drives me crazy. Like listen. Like for example, I'm not getting into a social media battle with a lot of these people. Like I know Tom DeLonge is a true UFO hunter, but because he's got all this money and stuff, and they think they could just like here I am. Here I am. I work my ass off for you guys. I really do work my ass off for you guys to find the truth, go through my connections to find out what stories is real, what story is not. And my military connections are a lot more than Jeremy Corbell could ever had. And that's a fact, Jack. That's a fact. But I'm always going to stay down here because these little rich kids with these little rich spoons have the money to be up here. That's Hollywood. It is what it is. And most people don't want to admit that, but it is freaking true. Here we go.
Several individuals on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, have highlighted the contrasting attitudes towards aliens and UFOs in the past versus the present. In 2019, for instance, there was a movement among alien enthusiasts to storm Area 51. However, when news about UAPs emerged on Wednesday, many online users responded with indifference. This sentiment was also shared by numerous TikTok users who expressed their lack of concern regarding the existence of aliens. In a viral video, one person stated, "Considering all the chaos caused by our own species, the concept of extraterrestrial beings doesn't really affect us."
Guys, and that's coming from social media. That's not coming from me. That's actually real story from the social media articles that I got. I- you think that I had people on Reddit saying, "Dude, people do really care about this." Really, you do, but most other people don't. And listen, again, I can't blame them when when you got to deal with real life. I know UFOs are real for us, but I'm talking about everyday life that does not surround UFOs, Bigfoot, or paranormal. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get more of this.
Despite the challenges faced on Earth, a small number of individuals seemed eager to be abducted by aliens and pleaded for them to take them away.
Yeah, and then I, you know what? Hold on, I gotta rewind that part because this is so true. Hold on, give me a second. Let me rewind this part.
Things doesn't really affect us. Despite the challenges faced on Earth, a small number of individuals seemed eager to be abducted by aliens and pleaded for them to take them away. Can
You know how true that is? You know how true that is? I can't tell you how many times myself growing up, from a kid or not, looking up at the stars and asking for them to come and take me away with them. Now, I don't want to be like probed or tortured. So most people like this are not. They're not talking about. Hold on, let me get it bigger. They're not talking about being tortured. I love that picture right there. Ah! That's cool. That's cool. I didn't mean that to happen. But how many times you wish dude, I told everybody, one of my most favorite movies of all time is The Last Starfighter. The Last Starfighter, even though the special effects doesn't look good today, but there was a scene of a character named Alex Rogan. There was a character that he names Alex Rogan, and there's one scene in the movie where he's sitting in his room because he just got his ass kicked by life. Just got his ass kicked. He couldn't go to the country with his girlfriend and party with his friends. He had to stay back at the place and be a mechanic to every freaking trailer park there. He couldn't get out. And he was sitting in his chair and he has like all these planets hanging above him. He was just looking at it, just like, please take me away. Please, just take me away. And that scene is everything because it explains life. Like I understand when people say, "Please take me away." Nobody meaning to get tortured, but because how life is, you always tell yourself, "There's more out there. There's got to be more out there." Are we really meant to work until we can't run no more? So the rich people can stay rich and the poor can stay poor. It's let's hear them more. I know. I feel like sometimes I'm getting a little depressed.
Can the aliens please take me back with them? Earth has been quite disappointing lately, expressed one Twitter user. Eric Wood, the spokesperson for the UFO community from the Paranormal Highway channel, has expressed his belief that despite the numerous UFO hearings held worldwide, the general public remains largely indifferent towards the subject. This indifference, however, does not necessarily imply disbelief, but rather reflects the overwhelming challenges of everyday life that leave little time for contemplating such matters.
And what you hear in this part of the video is all from me. This is how I feel. Again, every one of you has your own path, has your own beliefs on what you think. So you don't have to agree with everything I say in this part of the video. This is just how I feel and what I see and what I have studied from going from different social media platforms, reading different articles, news, everything. So again, and that bridge I'm standing on is where the Mary Island incident happened. And I'll tell you guys something about the Mary Island incident after the show that what I'm going to be doing next weekend. Here we go.
Eric acknowledges the systemic issues that contribute to this lack of public interest. He asserts that the government deliberately keeps the majority of people in poverty while granting tax cuts to the wealthy, enabling them to maintain their affluence and exert control over both individuals and the world.
And I truly believe that they want to keep the majority of all of us in poverty. They want us to keep us down here. Give the tax breaks to the rich. Oh yeah, once in a while you'll hear a story. A poor guy makes it great. They'll allow, coming up, but more or less, they want to control you. They don't want you to do great, right? You know how many people said, "I got a 5% raise this year. I got a 5% raise," but all the food prices and everything else with gases went up 7-8%. So you didn't really get a raise. But we're gonna give you a little raise to make you feel like you work your ass off for us. You get what you deserve. But even though you get that little raise, right? You get that little raise, right? You're going over here like, I'm gonna get an extra $50 on a paycheck. You know when you guys get that raise, you get that extra $50, $75. You're all happy, and then food prices just went to here. So that 50, $75, you didn't really get a raise. You didn't really get a raise. Oh, man. Sometimes I really truly feel like we're living in a Mickey Mouse world. We really do. And can somebody change Joe Biden's diaper? His diaper's full. Can somebody change his diaper for us, please?
The resulting financial hardships force individuals to work excessively long hours, leaving them with limited opportunities to delve into the study of UFOs and extraterrestrial life. According to Eric, the government is well aware of its hold on the populace.
Oh, they know.
To appease the UFO community without jeopardizing the planet's safety, they occasionally release classified information and hold UFO hearings.
So basically what I'm saying is right here is you can take this with a grain of salt. They have classified information. They have some stuff that it is considered classified, but it doesn't really have to be classified. So once in a while, we're going to declassify. Yeah, they'll declassify some stuff that they already know it's already in the grade. That's not really a big deal. They do it to please you, to please the people, or they get stuff that should already been to the public as disclassified, unclassified, but they make it classified. So later on, they can say, hey, we're going to release some classified information with stuff that's not really. And then there'll be people from the UFO community, all communities like, oh, look, they released some stuff. Make them all happy. They wet their pants and they're all happy. And then they really didn't release shit to us. Our current president is the worst we had since the 70s. It's funny, Danny. I'm not going to get into a political war here. That in these last 7-8 years, my God, we are living with the worst presidents that we've ever had. And the two guys are going against each other again. It's just like, are we truly living where we are truly living in a Mickey Mouse world? Can we not get some real people? But they ain't ever going to change because, again, people vote for parties. They don't vote for the person. They vote for parties. I always say, it doesn't matter what I say. People don't listen anyway. Hold on. One day we will be will be outnumbered for ruling parties by millions, but we are too busy fighting each other. Realize so freaking true. That is so true. That is so freaking true. We're too busy fighting each other, so it doesn't really matter, right? People's like people like, oh, the country's gonna get better with this guy. The country get better. Really? Does it? Every time there's a new president, doesn't matter what party to come from. My life doesn't change. You know what I mean? I mean, my life has never really changed. Whoever the president is, I know it's not just about you; it's about everybody else in the world. But my life has always been the same, and it doesn't even matter what president is president. It's like, okay, okay, you're president now, great. You're president now, great. My life doesn't change, but that's the world we live in.
However, these actions are merely superficial gestures designed to maintain their authority. In his message to the UFO community, Eric Wood urges them to persevere and never lose hope. He advises against blindly following influential figures such as Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, and David Grush, as he believes that the truth will not emerge from the government itself. Instead, Eric emphasizes that it is the collective efforts of individuals like those within the community that will ultimately uncover the truth. Together, they possess the strength to keep the stories alive and make a difference.
All right, guys. Life sucks. We know that. Every single one of you guys know life sucks. Life is hard. We know that. But we got to keep the stories going. We got to keep the stories, the legends going. You know, we gotta tell the kids. You know, we have to listen to all the Bigfoot stories, all the paranormal stories. You know, and listen, we know that some of the stories are false, are not real. But what I mean is the idea of the stories, the idea what's behind them, the spirits, the ghosts, what creates the energy? Why is energy still here haunting this house? What's the story? What's the origin behind that? You know, UFOs, aliens from another planet. Why are they coming and why are they not really shaking hands with us? Is it because we're not ready yet? You know, and Bigfoot, you know, we got to keep researching. Now, Bigfoot's a little different. I kind of not want Bigfoot to be found. I mean, I want people to believe that Bigfoot exists, but I kind of don't want Bigfoot to be found because I don't need 10 million stupid damn freaking hunters go out in the field and be stupid and try to capture it and shoot it, because Bigfoot, just like us, has families. They have their mates. They have their kids. So in a weird way on that, I kind of don't want Bigfoot to be found, but we need to keep these stories go out, because you never know who's going to be that person who's going to discover discover on the answers of what happens to us when we die, where our energy is. You know, it could be a 10-year-old kid that's watching one of our shows for the first time, and you know, and we're telling a story that we're discussing. We don't even know the story's true or not, but that might be intriguing enough for the kid to do his own research and study. That's why we do it. You know, I don't listen. If I look here, listen, there's only 25 people watching. I know. Only 25 people watching. I know there's channels that have thousands of people watching. Some channels have 20,000 people, 100 people. I know that. But what if one of those people, for whatever reason, are watching me right now, of the 25 people watching, is the person that unlocks the mystery of what happens to us when we die? Unlocks to honestly to finally tell people that aliens do exist. It could be just one person watching. You only, one discovery of a person. So keep telling those stories, people. Keep reaching for the stars, reaching for the ships to come. Tell them. Spread it out. It doesn't matter if the media don't care. It doesn't matter if they spit on you and call you stupid and like, you guys are lame. You guys are wasting your life. Great. You know what? Great. Dude, I'm not wasting your life then. I'm not wasting his life. Okay, I'm wasting my own life. You shouldn't even care about if I'm wasting my own life. Right? You just don't know what person is going to be the person that might find the answers that you're looking for. So who cares how many people are watching you? There might be just one person that somehow you trigger something out of them to research something. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. That's why we keep doing it. I know it sounded glooming that majority of the people, even though we're getting more UFO conferences more than ever and ever and more, and people just don't care. But there are going to be people that do care. It doesn't matter if it's just 1% of the population. Doesn't matter. Because otherwise, if you say nothing, then they already won. They won. The governments, people in power, they won. They won. And you know what? Sometimes I always hate that when I hear, oh, that person's powerful. That person's got all this. You know what? They do. They got everything. They got more power. What does that mean? They got 2 extra bodyguards? At the end of the day, we all bleed the same. We all have red blood, right? We all got to put on clothes. But that person's powerful. Okay, what? Does that mean because he got more clothes than I do? He got more choices of shoes, better cars? We all got voices. Every single one of us have voices. Doesn't matter how powerful somebody is. Powerful is just a freaking stupid ass word that people make up to make somebody else sound important. But Eric, he's powerful. What? Because he got more idiots to believe everything he says? Doesn't make a person more special. We all got voices. Every single one of you got voices. We all do. We are all are important as everybody else. We're all important. Every time you put on the news, right? You put on the news. I'll make up an actor's name. Cat Butt. All right. Here's a news channel. Cat Butt's brother just got arrested. I mean, that's the news, right? Oh, a brother of him? I'm supposed to care? I'm supposed to care about these people? Why? I'm supposed to care about how Kardashians feel? I got my own problems. I got my own direct family. I don't care about who's powerful and who's not. All I care is if I got something to say, I'm going to say it. This is why we're here. Guys, so don't let Cute Butt be more powerful than you. You are powerful. If you got a voice, you're powerful. Like I always say, you only need one person to find out some truth that you've always been looking for. You just need one person. That's it. So beyond that, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. You guys are awesome. I hope I wasn't, dragging on too much. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I just want to get out there that doesn't matter what social media says. Doesn't matter what they do. We're stronger together, people. Doesn't matter if there's only 21 people in here right now. There's only 21 of us. Who cares? Who cares? I don't need 100 or 1,000 people. We're stronger together. That's all I'm going to say. We're stronger together, and we got to keep the truth going. Doesn't matter how many people are listening. You only need one person. Okay. Beyond that, I'm gonna work on a video tonight, like these kind of videos, and put it out. I'm gonna do the best I can to try to get one done, get it ready, put it out tomorrow. What I try to do now, people, is I try to put out these kind of videos so it could be a subject that all of us could talk about on the next show. You know what I mean? It's a good way to get that conversation going and all that. So if any one of you guys, if there's some kind of great news article that you know about, email me at paranormalhighway13@gmail.com. Paranormalhighway13@gmail.com. Tell me about the article, and then I'll try to find multiple articles with that one. I put it together, make that kind of video I make, the video with voices, and then we'll talk about it on a live show. So beyond that, keep talking. Keep talking. Again, I always say this. Remember, the truth is out there, but so are lies. Okay? Truth is out there, but so are lies. But together, we're going to get through this all. Love you all. I'll see you next time on the Paranormal Highway.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Did you see it?